Good morning. Had a weekend to think about this truck, and this is what we got. Let me grab a light. Alright, I was fighting with bell housing issue. A little bit of clearance. I can come back just a touch, but I'm going to hit everything. If we look here, got the frame and the oil pan hitting pretty decent. I need at least another inch to make that clear nice. We're rubbing. Even if this is bolted in completely, I'm not going to be able to get that. And to get that, this engine's got a twist too. Motor mount there ain't on yet. That one's pretty close. But if I go up with it, it's going to drop back, and it's going to move this down and hit even worse. So what I'm going to do is cut this out just a little bit and then box it back in. So it should be plenty strong and good to go. Right now I'm going to pull a trans out and get some room in here. I'm just going to set the engine in without the trans and work it that way. This gave me an idea what I had to do. So let's get this thing out, do some cutting, some welding, and we'll set it back down in. Okay guys, so as you can see here, I cut this section out. I gave it a little extra on the sides, and I gave it pretty good depth. It's probably what, inch and a half or so. I made up a cardboard template here for the piece that's going to go back in. Oh, sorry, one-handed. Put that in there. Set that in there. So basically, that's what it's going to look like. And there should be more than enough room for the oil pan at any given time to get it in, to get the engine out. If motor mount gets a little wiggly, it's got a little room. So I gotta go find a piece of metal, cut it, bend it, and weld it in. See what we can do. So got this plate of metal here made up. It's gonna sit right inside that hole there. I gotta tap it up in there. I got a tight fit, but we're gonna tap it in, give her a weld, and that should do. Same thickness material. It'll be good. All right, let's weld this up. Alright. There's our finished product. I'm no good at welding upside down, but I got some good bead on her. She ain't going nowhere. So it looks good. We'll set the engine back in there. I'll clean this up a little bit and paint it first, but set it back down in, see what kind of clearance we got. Okay, so I was here, I had to cut it back that much more. Bolt here, I still have enough room up in there for my bushing. Let's toss it in and see what kind of room we got. Okay, so I got the engine back in. Set in. If you look, got plenty of room in there. Alright, everything clears. All clears there. Almost perfect. But if you look right there, that oil pan is hitting the frame in a different spot. So out comes the engine again, and notch that little piece out right there. Just take a little triangle out of it, set another little inward triangle in it, and box it back in. This side's got plenty of room. This side don't. And this engine's sitting pretty close to where it needs to be. I don't want to go up any higher with it in the back for bell housing issues. So it should be about perfect right there. The bolts are already to the max, but they're there. They're good. They'll work. I just gotta get that spot out of there. So back out it comes. All right, guys. Little recap of the day. I cut the frame out, notched it, channeled it. I got the engine to clear. I got quite a bit of room now in places that really just needed some room to begin with. Along with that, I stuck the headers up in there just for something to do tonight before I left. And the engine is, I got one motor mount bolt almost in that side, and this one is really far off. I don't know if you can see that or not. But in order to raise that one there, this header already still has to come up to there, and we got a long ways to go. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that firewall to make a little room. You know, I don't want to set the engine down any farther. It's already, you know, I'm already notching the frame to get it to sit as far as I can get it. I don't know, might have to pull out the sledgehammer tomorrow and beat some of the stuff around. Even driver's side's a little tight. Good morning. So, clearance issues. Headers, they're long and they don't want to fit, of course. I got a bolt on this side, and this side is still a little tight, but the engine's tilted. I can't get the other side in. Down there, we're hitting all over the place. And if you look, our bolt hole there is not even close. Along with here, we still need to come down with it. So, pull it back out and see if I can clearance the firewall a little bit. See what happens. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so we're back in it. Engine's back in. We're sitting pretty close to where we gotta sit. And I had to do some modifying here. I might have taken it a little too far. Or maybe not far enough here. Working on it though. Working on it. A little bit there, that'll go a long ways. But we have an issue over here. This side got really tight, tighter than I was thinking it was gonna be. I still gotta take a little out there. Gotta take a little out there and just a hair up in that corner, and I think we'll have it. So once I get this side done, work on this side just a little bit. I'll take that piece right there, and then that might be it. That might be the meal ticket. So almost there. Almost there. If I could push this thing forward, which I could just a touch, but I don't have a whole lot of room, and I want to leave a little bit of room. Got about a little over a 1/4 inch there. I'd like enough room for it to flex. It's gonna flex, so it's gonna have to keep working with the floor pans and firewall. And it's pretty close, though. We're getting somewhere. Feeling good about that. So let's keep going a little more. See where we get. I don't think I'm gonna pull the engine on this one. I think I'll just try to lower it down just a little bit and get my air hammer up in there maybe and kind of work it around a little bit. So that's where we're at so far. Alright, so we got it in. We got clearance on our headers. The back here is a little tight. I can move some stuff if it needs. I don't know how much that's going to actually move back and forth. I know it's going to rotate just a little bit, but we can deal with that. Not a problem. What I have found now, steering shaft. Sorry about the noise. Got work going on in the shop. Getting a rebuild on some walls. This steering shaft here is not gonna fit. There's no room for that header not to fit. I don't know why they put it so tight like that. They should have made that pipe a little longer and out of the way. It'd go right in. But got an issue there. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do here. Technically I could cut it and extend it out a little bit, bring it over here, wrap it back around, or make a steering shaft for this thing. I believe if I put a normal U-joint in there, I think it'll go. Let me see here. Let me get my bar just to get an angle idea. So it'll be looking something like that, but it has to have a U-joint right out of the gate, and the U-joint's gonna be pretty big. Yeah, so I get to figure that out. Not quite right. I'll have a little more space with the gasket in there, so I didn't put the gasket in for mock-up, but it ain't gonna be enough for that. So it keeps going. Headers are bolted on, nice and tight. Everything's bolted to the frame, nice and tight. Trans is back in it. Torque converter's bolted in. Intake, just sitting here. I got the wires run through the firewall. Start setting them in and see where it's all gonna sit and ride and hang out and try to make the best of that harness. Steering shaft is still a problem. I'll take a peek in a couple catalogs tonight and see what I can come up with there. I really don't want to move it. I could, but I don't want to. I still gotta cut the shifter bracket off back there, and I don't know, that's about it. It'll get me by for today, I think. Get this wiring kind of set up in here. I'm going to bolt the intake on. I got gaskets coming right now for it. I cleaned it up a little bit, not a whole lot, just make sure the gasket surfaces are good. This thing will get a whole power washing when it's all done. So, alright, keep going. So, I got it all back together for the most part. New springs, new shocks. New lowering knuckles. Steering's all back to buttoned up, linkage wise anyway. New sway bar links. Almost like we're getting somewhere. The exhaust flanges. Gotta figure out an exhaust system. He wants it short. Figure that out. Get that going on. Gotta do some wiring to the starter. I still have to pull the gas tank and put a newer style sending unit in it. It has provisions for a fuel pump wires and all that good stuff. Drop his pump in. I still have to do the back, put the lowering blocks in it. Not a big deal. He's got new shocks for the rear as well. I have to take care of some pinion issues. I don't think that one's going to last very long anyway, but we'll try to seal it up for the time being. The power steering pump that we had gotten from the auto parts store was the wrong year, well, for this bracket per se. Wrong vehicle, wrong bracket. So we got one of those coming tomorrow. I can get that on, try to figure out what we're doing for lines, figure out the belt, how big it's got to be, how long, and then order one of them up. They probably got that in stock. Tomorrow I'll probably get on that gas tank, get that going on. Just little stuff, you know, it's a project. Little stuff happens. I still have to put the lowering kit in the back, the lowering blocks. Yeah. So that was my day today. A lot of little buttoning ups and trying to sort things out.